Hey, welcome back to It's Fits Monday. It must be Collage Day. Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard to the Collage Jam. As usual, I have my partner in grime, Kim Ko, and we're ready to kick off yet another Monday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. We've gone from being like too cold a week ago to full-on summer. We put on the air conditioning. I can't believe it, but there you go. So, hope you're doing well. What else can I say? Well, I don't have much in the way of announcements or any of that stuff. I am just gonna get this party started. So, as you may have seen in the prompt, today's collaging is using a single source. So I have pulled out a magazine that has long lost its cover and has been cut up somewhat, but still has a fair bit of good stuff in it. What was it? I don't even know. It's a women's magazine because I like the girlies. I cannot lie. Looks like it was Vogue. So I am going, and a smaller than usual Vogue, although I guess they all are now, sadly. So I'm going to use that, and I'm also going to try to work with faster, I think. Not thinking too much. I am going to work within 6-inch squares. So I've got a little template that I was used from a while ago for using doing 6-inch square collages, and I'm just going to do a bunch and then see how it goes. So come on along and join me when you're ready, and let's get started. Check in, say hi to Kim, tell her where you're checking in from, and hope you'll enjoy. Hello, Philippa. Welcome along. Well, you don't need a magazine, Philippa. You can use whatever, but you're also welcome to just sit and chill and enjoy. So, and Kim is gonna monitor the chat for me. I'm going to push this back so you can see at least somewhat what I'm working on. How far back can I go without sending it off the edge of the table? About that far, I think. So, all right. So in keeping, I cut my little flash beginning screen there out of the same magazine. I thought that would be appropriate. And I'm thinking I'm gonna like use this and mark off some 6-inch squares and cut out a bunch of 6-inch squares, just interesting things, whether they're images or textures, and paste a bunch down, maybe start with like several and then add a little bit to this one, a little bit to that one, a little bit to the next one. So I'm gonna, without further ado, I'm gonna get going with that. And check in, say hi, tell us where you're tuning in from, and what your one source is, because obviously one source could be, as I mentioned in the prompt, could be a whole number of different things, and you can get creative with it. Frankly, I'm not that creative. I just picked a magazine. I have a bunch of magazines, but you may not have. So you might have like one cereal box, or or my blue box, or what I can find on this shelf that I am with cutting up, or a single website. Like I went to this website and I just used stuff I could find from that website. So let us know.
So we've got, as you know, Philippa saying hi.
Yeah,
we also
hello.
have Ricky from
Hey,
Philadelphia.
Ricky. Welcome back.
We have Adele.
Hello, Adele.
Jane is here.
Excellent, Jane. Hi, Jane. How are you?
And Valerie.
Hey, Val.
And Alice, who mistakenly thought it was starting at 1 p.m. and realized that she was too early.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, hopefully you then went back and had a more leisurely lunch instead of like trying to rush it to get done.
Sherry says hi.
Hey, Sherry.
And Annie Bentley says hi.
Annie,
She's just going to enjoy the show with a cuppa.
Excellent. Good start, because Annie was with me this morning for my morning class, so she's ready for a rest now.
I bet. And Marcia's here and says hi.
Hello, Marcia.
Hi, Marcia.
Yeah, yay.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, so we got our yard has gone from just little shits, it seemed like, I don't know whether it was that a week ago, but it doesn't seem very long ago too. Like, it's blocking out the sun. All our trees they look like they're pretty fully leafed out.
We can hardly see any sky.
Yeah, there's no sky left, which is lovely in some respects.
But lots of blossoms.
And blossoms. I wonder if just... Not going to show it that well, but that's our lovely view out into our, let's face it, wilderness. There is a little patio down there, but that's about it.
Those big barberries are our favorites because they're covered in yellow blossoms and they have purple leaves. So.
And then they turn beautiful colors in the fall.
Yeah.
In fact, it sort of starts one color and then it modulates to another. I can't remember which colors start and which end, but it does this amazing.
Gives us a show.
Yeah, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Now, it is a prickly Sanofa bleep, so pruning it is painful. But other than that, it's a beautiful thing.
So Valerie says her source is the Irondale River in Gooderham.
I love it, Val. That is so you.
It is. Well, and I think Jane's is really good, and her too. She's using the New York Times Style magazine special travel issue from May 14th. And she has a question. Mm-hmm. Are you guys going to run this collage jam all summer?
So, not positive. I think we will take a break at some point and probably a couple of weeks, but I am thinking more than not. So I haven't figured it out exactly, but I'm thinking through the summer we may go away if that's possible,
or just take
or just like sleep for a couple of weeks. But we may do that a couple of times, but the plan is to keep going. So
Lillian says hi.
Hello, Lillian. I can't seem to say Lillian. Hello, Lillian. Too many L's for my my mouth.
I think you're going to overthink it.
I think so.
Philippa says, your yard looks nurturing, smile.
Yes, it is that.
That's actually what struck us very strongly when we first looked at the house when we were in the market to buy.
Our previous house, which was lovely in many, many respects,
fabulous house,
was in a sort of very bourgeois neighborhood. It was a new development, and everyone was putting in all the most expensive, fancy danciest everything into their new houses, and we weren't. And you could also see everyone, right? Because there weren't very many fences, there weren't very many plantings, and so. When we moved here, it had huge maples in the back, and we've had to cut down a couple because they sort of reached their end, but others have sprung up and taken their place.
Many others. And
we have all kinds of, it is literally a woodland back there.
It's a habitat.
But, and it is, we see all kinds of birds. We get tons of birds, tons of squirrels. Yeah. So it's beautiful in that respect. And it's more private, which is nice. So we just go out and just soak up it's got to be good for our carbon footprint having so much foliage in one location. So yeah. And it's good for breathing too, right? The oxygen. So
and this time of year, it's very fragrant.
Yes.
All right. Well, the messages are coming.
All right. Let's hear about the sources.
Marion says, hi, Kim and Cal. I've missed the last couple of weeks. Glad to be back today.
Yeah, welcome back, Marion.
Judy says, hi, Cal and Kim. Joining in from up north this week near Bracebridge.
Oh, nice. Yeah, excellent.
Mira says, hi, Cal and Kim. Ideal weather to be inside.
Yes. It's gone from being like too cold outside to now it's too warm outside. But I think it's supposed to cool off at the end, towards the end of the week. So
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Because it was so perfect as far as
To me, I mean, I know there are people out there who just like the hotter the better, but I am a
temperate.
22 degrees and sunny and low humidity is perfect to me. Whereas 33 and 93% humidity is anathema to me.
Nightmare. Sherry writes, I hope you get a break. You deserve it.
Thank you. Yes, we will. We will.
We'll work it. Well, in fact, we could figure it out later today.
Yeah.
Ricky writes, my source is a geography book, All Possible Worlds. She thinks
All Possible Worlds.
Either that or found objects on my daily walks in my neighborhood.
So do you have like a little stack from your walks that you can rifle through? That's fun because you can find so much, stuff that's been driven over by about 150 vehicles, like a pop can, or sometimes just like print materials, and it's got the distressing from being the pavement ground into it. You can get fascinating textures, and sometimes you just like something floats by, and it's just like, oh my God, that's beautiful, all right?
Yeah, that's true. Jane writes, good to keep going. So I'm sure she wants as many weeks as you'll give her.
Duly noted, Jane.
Love the enthusiasm.
Duly noted.
Gunta says, I'm here.
Hey, Gunta.
Recovering from mini heat stroke after weeding out front, then tending to my neonatal grass area in the back. So hot, my dog won't move.
Right. You've got like a huge property too, right? So you've got a lot of outside work and
she's further south than us too.
Right.
So it's probably even warmer.
Yeah, I looked at the forecast for today, and I think it's, depending on who you look at, high of 29 or 31. And then I looked at the Toronto forecast, and how far away is Toronto? Like 40, 50K, and it was like high of 24, and I'm thinking, how come they're so nice and
lake?
Yeah, it's the lake.
Farther from the lake.
We're further away from the lake, and that's exactly it.
Remember when we lived in the beaches, how fabulous it was for weather.
Yeah,
temperate. Joy says, hi, Cal and Kim. It's cold and rainy here on Salt Spring. Wearing sweaters, but my scissors are ready.
You're not going to get much sympathy from, if you're on Salt Spring, from people in Ontario.
Even when you should.
Yeah, we're going to be gloating. I'm sorry.
While we cower inside, avoiding the heat.
Yeah. So it's not really that gloatful.
No. Gerda says hi. She's here.
Hello, Gerda. So you're able to chat, Gerda? That's great.
No, apparently.
Yeah, good. No, that's great. So tell Kim and tell us what you. I know we were trying to figure out what was wrong, and did you need a Gmail account to be able to do it? So what did you figure out?
Okay, Sherry says, I'm still exploring the painted paper collage technique. Still a mass transit theme from New York City taxi to Toronto streetcar. The 501 that goes by my door.
That's great. Keeping it nice and local, and streetcars are beautiful, right?
Oh yeah.
And as was your New York taxi. That was pretty great. I have to say.
They're both iconic of the cities.
Yes, exactly.
Which is perfect.
They put you exactly there, right?
In a place, yeah.
Yeah.
Gunta says, I received the 3 collage books I ordered at the start of March. Looking through them, I had an aha moment.
Ah, what was that?
Further down, she writes, there seems to be a particular style, avant-garde, distortions, not making paintings in paper. I think she means not being representational in paper.
Right.
I will have to rethink how I approach this medium.
there are so many ways to approach it, which is something that I love. You can either look for the kinds of images you want to play with. You can have a reference for an image you want to work from, and then find things that you can make into that. You can do a bit of each.
I tend to be non-objective.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Non-objective is completely. So it's something that I try in my collage courses to show is how many different, viable, wonderful, interesting ways you can collage, right? Because a lot of us have sort of a set, like, oh, I don't like collage because they think it's this or it's that, but not all this other stuff that
But
it
just
can
like painting, it's it's a lot of things. Sorry, go ahead.
Change the material you're collaging with, change what you do, change the approach, change what you get. So
exactly. Like if you did all textiles, you could have a completely different.
Exactly, all textiles, all painted papers, all found stuff, all text, all
jelly printed stuff.
Yes, exactly. I know some of your jelly plate printers are doing
Come
that.
to this.
Yeah.
Cheryl Langille says, "Hi, I'm back after a couple of weeks away.
Welcome back, Cheryl.
My source is old paintings to cut up."
Ah, right.
And her background is a piece she did in your course about 10 years ago.
Wow.
And Gerda updates us. She did nothing different, just the universe changed. You gotta love that. Yeah.
Sometimes, the change the day, change the outcome, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes you like, I'm just going to reboot the computer. There's no reason this should work, but it does, right? But I just like, if it works, take it, right?
The internet's working better that day, and so you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Kathleen says, "Hello from London."
Hello, Kathleen.
Prompt is one source, right?
Prompt is one source, yeah. Or single source, I guess is how I put it, but one source works.
Elaine has a question. At what point does a collage turn into mixed media? When you mix it with other media.
Yeah, exactly. If you start drawing or painting or so on into it, then
then it's mixed.
Yeah, then it's mixed, exactly. Now, if you're collaging drawings and paintings, I don't know. Is that strictly speaking a collage, or is it a bit of each?
It's use. It's use primarily. Sort of mixed media, but it's collage.
Yeah.
So mixed materials collage, essentially.
Yes. I like pure collage just because that's me. But then I sometimes ignore that and draw and paint into it. So.
Whereas I really like mixed media.
Yeah.
I just like mixing things up.
Yeah.
Making a big mess, preferably.
One of the reasons I really love this prompt is Kim came to the table to do her job, her helping out, and she looked at the table and she said, "You haven't got any papers out." And then I explained to her what the prompt was, and okay. And I'm like, this is an amount of stuff I can handle. I'm a bear of little brain.
I was thinking, if we ever do another camper van spell traveling around, we could do altered books and single source collages
Yeah.
and sketchbooks. And then it would be all very contained.
I may have said it on the last week's collage jam, so if I did, forgive me. I sometimes repeat myself, but we went on last year we went to visit some friends in Ottawa, and I was in the middle of a run of doing a bunch of like a collage every other day or so. And I thought, I don't want to stop. I'm on a roll. And I thought, okay, so I'm packing up like this many magazines, like 5, a pad, a glue stick, cutting tools, and I just did them while I was, after dinner or in the morning or, whenever I found a spare moment. And it was really great. It was like I'm still sort of feeding my artist self, and yet I'm traveling as well.
Yeah.
Remember travel?
Yeah. I was just reading about it.
And I'm not talking anywhere like nothing against Ottawa, but Ottawa is, it's
not that far away.
It's not that
exotic.
Yeah, it's not that far away or exotic. It has lots of lovely things. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to live there in some respects.
I'd love to be there for the tulips right now.
Yes. And it's got glorious, it's near to nature, and it's got lots of parkland, and that I really appreciate.
Yeah. Lots of people we love are there.
Yes. And that obviously factors into it significantly.
So, got more questions and comments.
All right, hit me.
So, Joy says, you deserve a blast of heat anyway. It's true. We really had some late snow and everything here. Thank you, Joy. So, Jane asks, what if your pure collage is on top of an old painting or part of a painting?
Excuse me. I'd say still collage until you're actually painting or drawing on it.
Yeah. It's kind of like you're using that base painting as a collage element rather than painting into the collage piece.
Yeah.
So it's just your collage material. So you can have mixed materials collages, but that's like it's a different nuance than saying mixed media.
I think, like, how are you making a mark? How are you making your composition? Is it by moving pieces around and gluing things on?
Already made pieces.
If they're already made, exactly, then it's collage. If then you're like, okay, and it needs this line drawn in it, and it needs that to be painted, it's like with a glaze and that to be overpainted, then it's mixed media.
But that's how we would define it.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're like, okay.
We're not shooting blindly when we say that. We have reasons for saying it, but there are other people who are equally knowledgeable who might disagree with us, and so that's one of the things.
I'd be curious how, for instance, a curator would look at a piece of artwork made from drawing or painting that has then been collaged. They might call that mixed media.
Well, different curators, I think, would call it different things.
Yeah, exactly. Different artists would call it different things. Yeah.
So I think that's
that is.
Elaine asks, so if I collage with paper and fabric, then is it mixed media? Well, I think we've covered that. So that's a mixed materials collage rather than a mixed media in our world. And Judy said, I missed what Cal is doing. Can you reiterate what this is?
So what am I up to? I think I might have said before we got
single source.
Yeah, so it is, I have picked one magazine. It's a somewhat cut up already Elle magazine. And I can't even tell from when.
Yeah, it's so cool.
But that's all I'm using. That apart from my base, and I am also decided because I need even more restrictions that I'm going to do 6-inch collages. So I've got a little frame, and I'm also decided that I've often,
which is a template.
Yeah, it's a template. So I can look for like, oh, do I want to crop that out like that or whatever? And I can also just trace it down so that I can see where
your edges are.
Where my edges are, exactly. Thank you.
Yep.
And I'm going to try and do a bunch because I've done, the last couple of times I've done too much thinking and not enough doing. So I'm just going to work without overthinking, get a bunch started, then put the next thing on a bunch, and then the next thing on a bunch, and just see what happens.
It's a good way of working.
Yeah.
So there you go, Judy. Joy says the rhododendrons and red poppies that have opened, because they're opened out there.
Yeah.
Are all drooping in the rain. A good day to be inside and doing collage. Good to hear and see you. You make the day cheerful.
Well,
That's so nice.
that's very sweet. Thank you. We do our best.
She adds that she found a magazine called Aqua from here on the island.
Right.
It has lots of local info and might be worth using.
Yeah. Could do a locally themed collage.
Ricky, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, obviously, it depends on what your one source is, right? I'm using a fashion magazine, so it's going to have a certain kind of image in it, and a certain kind of typography and so on. But if it were a catalog, it would be a completely different thing. If it were a textbook, it would again be a completely different thing. So,
or a dictionary.
Yeah.
Ricky has a question.
Fire away, Ricky.
Is the glue stick the only adhesive you use?
It is by far my primary go-to for simplicity. You'll have noticed with me there is a simplicity theme going on, because I get easily overwhelmed. So I like my few tools, my one glue, my one magazine today,
and your one pad,
and my one pad, exactly, and my one frame. And that's more about me than it is anyone else. So there are plenty of other glues, like Mod Podge has a nice stickiness to it. You can paint it on. It's like a sort of more tacky medium. You can use medium, whether it's a liquid polymer medium, or like a soft gel. You can use white glue. There are lots of options. I just use this because it is dead simple.
Yeah. So I'll just add to that. So Cal is a minimalist living with a maximalist, and he hates getting mess on his fingers. So a nice dry glue stick is perfect for him. Whereas I use glue sticks for sure, but I'm happiest when I use acrylic medium to collage. Lillian says, I miss the thousands of tulips in Ottawa where she's from. She has 4 tulips there in Winnipeg, and the rabbits had the rest for dessert. Yeah. Oh, that's so sad, Lillian.
Yeah.
You plant them and you wait and you wait and you wait, and they steal they steal all the fun, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you need a sacrificial crop for the rabbits. Sherry asks if Yoo-Hoo is acid-free.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I seem to recall seeing that, but
it's definitely the go-to one.
Non-toxic, washable, acid-free, and 98% natural ingredients, including water. So
there you go. So there's 31 people watching now. You might just want to invite any of the newcomers to say hi. And
yeah, good point. If anyone is joining us for the first time, say hi.
Or just joined late.
Or joined late, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Ricky has another question. It is that painter's tape you're using?
It is. And all I'm using it for is I've sort of figured out an alignment that I want these pieces in this relationship, and so I want to put the glue on the back, so I just put them down here where I can hinge, where I can just like flop it over there, glue it, and then flop it back into the right place. So I often use it as a just a temporary hold.
Well, Cal glues that up. I'm just going to ask a question I've been asking people as I'm putting together a playlist of dance music. And so I wondered if there is a piece of music, a song that that you love to dance to, or that makes you feel like you want to dance when you hear it. I would love to hear what it is. If you know the title and who it's by, then I can look it up most easily. But definitely looking to add to my list. That looks nice. Anything by ABBA, including Dancing Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Adele. That's great. Elaine says Pharrell Williams is Happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of Kim's faves, actually.
It just, it's one of those things, if you need a guaranteed mood lifter, it's among the songs that does that. So Sherry asks, are you adding DJ to your resume? I think there are a few other things I'll add to my resume before I venture into that territory. Thanks, Sherry. That's funny.
No, she's just looking to get her dancing mojo back a little bit from many years of disuse.
Yeah.
And so looking for suggestions.
Yeah. To try out. Judy gives Happy her vote too. I think it's for Happy. And Slade offers Paul Butterfield Blues Band East West. I will definitely check that out. Thank you, Slade. And Judy says ABBA. Yeah. I remember dancing to ABBA back in the day. Jane says, Cal, you definitely do collage like a graphic designer.
Guilty as charged, Jane. It's true.
She says, I used to work with your type, in quotes, in advertising and always envied the graphic designers. So much fun. I used to love visiting ad agencies when I was young, and I had mentors, and it was so exciting to be in a big ad agency in the art department. Gunta suggests big band swing music gets people moving.
Yes. And Gunta, is it Aquafit that you teach? Do you use music for that? I can't remember. I can imagine using music for it, but.
Judy also suggests Little Richard. Yes. Who just passed away, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it like COVID, right? Or was it?
I can't remember now.
Right.
It's hard these days because you think it's COVID for everybody. It isn't always, though.
No.
That's going to look great.
Yeah, this is going to have to be one of the less is more ones, I think.
Yeah. It's basically done.
Yeah, it is. It is basically done.
Yeah. Ooh, Jane suggests Tina Turner. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You got it. That's someone I'm missing on my list for sure.
I don't know. Do we need another hero?
What?
Doesn't she sing that song, We Don't Need Another Hero? I think so. But anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Gunta says she sure does.
Oh,
she
cool.
can send her playlist. Even the young guards start dancing to it. That's awesome.
That's impressive right there.
Yeah. Jane writes, yes. Maybe about your saying less is more on the.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need more than that, right?
Yeah, that's right. And that you did by folding it back? Is there folding?
Well, yeah. So this piece is the same piece. I noticed, I looked, sunglasses, fashion magazine. Then I flipped it over. Oh, another more bold glasses. And then I thought, all right, I have to slice a bit off so that I can bring one eye over to the other side. And then, the next thing I saw was yet another one with sunglasses. And so it becomes a bit Picasso and a bit sunglassy.
Very fun.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this the other day, right? That one of the keys to building experience in art and becoming experience in art is developing your eye, your ability to recognize when there's an opportunity or a moment that's you need to grab that thing. You need to put those things together. You need to stop there.
When I was younger, I didn't understand that whole, because when you're younger, you don't have as much in the way of instinct because you don't have as much in the way of experience.
Yeah.
So oftentimes young artists, not always, there are always exceptions, right? But often young artists are more technique driven, right? Because that they're building skills, right? Can you paint it accurately? Can you match that color? Can you control your tools? Exactly. And it's really useful to build on later as you build experience, looking, seeing, making decisions. Exactly. So
yeah. Jane confirms, yes, we need another hero. Thank you, Jane.
Thanks, Jane.
It's a good place to use an applicator too.
Yes.
Joy asks, will you be adding more to that piece you just glued?
I don't think so. It would have to be something that surprises me.
Because it doesn't need it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's that recognizing the moment.
Yeah. I won't say never, because sometimes you look at something and you think, this is great, and just this one little additional thing will make it even greater.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'm thinking it's done.
Yeah. Done until proven otherwise.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's certainly done for this pass and probably for this just in its entirety.
Slade says, pertinent to what you were just talking about previous to that question, that may explain why I always found the OCAD graduates exhibit disappointing. There are always bright lights.
Yeah, they're bright lights, but they're usually raw talents, right? So sometimes they've got something, they're going to be great in a few years, or they're going to need some more longer time and so on. And sometimes people we've noticed teaching some people up at Halliburton when they're 17, 18. We had a few students who we just thought, my goodness, what are you going to do? You are just lost and at sea and with no skills and no drive. And then 9 months later, they're like, you have the same face, but
or 2 years
but
later.
you have like now you're like driven, you know what you're about. And so it things change. Things change
They change so
quickly. Yeah,
quickly
quickly.
when you're young.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Jane says, by the way, I am working at a table on my back deck.
Nice.
And it's amazing how smooth the glue stick works in warm weather. Yeah.
Right. Yes, that would make sense, actually.
Yeah.
It would get a bit softer and just like
glide.
butter, right?
So we need to have a little heat pad to keep the glue stick on. It's just warm enough and not too warm. Sherry writes another suggestion, which is Havana by Camilo Cabello. Makes her get up every time. So does Temperature by Sean Paul. Different moves. Excellent. Thank you, Sherry.
Yeah.
I look forward to checking those out. Joy writes, she still loves Rita McNeil. Well, there's a classic Canadian artist. Yeah. And she adds, yes, man, people look, in quotes, but few people see, in quotes.
Yes, it's true.
And that's training the eye, which is really training the brain.
Yeah. I think that really sums up what Kim and I try to teach. Period. I mean, it's about sort of seeing, learning to see potential in things, learning to see that you need to keep going or that that's enough. Or
I'm very much about seeing possibilities.
Right.
Because that's probably
that's a beautiful
the thing I find most exciting.
Yeah.
So it jazzes me.
Okay.
Is it not cut in the right place?
I think I forgot to put the one up there in that corner. So what are you using from the river, Val? What has the river given you to play with?
I've got another suggestion from Mira.
All right.
Carlos Santana.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Black Magic Woman. Yes, and I don't have that song. I've put Smooth from his Supernatural album on, but not Black Magic Woman. So I will add that.
So Mira is here?
Yeah,
Hi,
Mira's here.
I somehow missed you sneaking in, so welcome aboard.
Yeah, I think we both did. I think she just snuck in.
If I know her, she was busy collaging, and then she realized, oh no.
Oh no, she did mention that this was the perfect day to stay inside, I think, because it was
right.
hot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
How is your new place, Mira? I loved your old place with the lovely backyard you had, but I'm sure you're making the new backyard beautiful too.
Yeah. That's why they got a new house. Alfredo needed a hobby. The other one was done. He needed a new place.
We should have bought that place.
Yeah. already done.
Yes, that's the only way we're gonna have a backyard that looks like that, Mira. And then it'll only look like that until it falls down from neglect.
Well, no, we'd have to get a lawnmower person because you don't mow frequently enough for that to happen. Mira writes, "Hi, teacher."
Hello, Mira.
So Valerie answers your question with
Yes.
plastic and mylar and images of the river.
Wow, nice. So images, well, I shouldn't keep asking you because you're trying to collage, but...
maybe found plastic from the river?
Found plastic and then pictures you've taken of the river, or I would presume that, so. Yeah, cool.
Mira writes, "Love this one more. Our garden is all around the house and I am free of Alfredo." It's a problem when they retire, eh, Mira? See, Cal and I are used to working together at home, so it's what's weird is when as he was this past year and a half, he was working out of the home so much that we hardly saw each other. But because we had our design studio at home for years and years, but we're unusual.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and if you've got to adapt to retirement, I know Cal's mom had a tough time.
My mother, she came this close to killing my father when he came home from and retired.
Yeah,
it was just like,
oh yeah.
Suddenly she had no life, and he was always
her domain was gone.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
what a
that was hard because he took up a lot of room.
Yeah, he was not one of those quiet. Quiet types.
No.
If he had a thought, everyone knew what it was because he would tell them.
He broadcasted except when he was asleep.
Yeah.
Val writes, "Yes."
Right.
So, now you know. That's a beautiful italic. Is that an I?
Yeah.
Without the dot.
Yeah, the dot got cut off.
The dot.
The crop. Dot crop.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's fun. Okay.
Yep. Put a little tape on that. Get the glue.
Yep. I have to figure out the edge though.
Yeah.
The tittle.
The what?
The tittle.
Oh, is that what the dot's
I think
called?
the dot of an I is called the tittle.
I never memorized all of the bits and pieces, although I should have, but you know me, I'm not good if it doesn't interest me. Fortunately, so many things do, so that's why I do learn a lot of things.
There are a lot of things that interest Kim and not very many that don't. She's omnivorously curious.
Yeah. I think to the new course that started, the Altered Books course, my introduction to myself, I described myself as pathologically curious.
Yes, that would be it.
Mira says, "We are adapting very well. We both have our hobbies."
Oh, good.
That's great.
Well, you're both lovely people, so.
And you both need hobbies.
Yeah, yeah. I mean.
Yeah, so that's good. Jane wants to know if you posted your last week's collage and she didn't see it.
I did not. I never got back to it.
It's been quite a week.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm teaching a collage workshop for some high school students at Silverthorne Collegiate, which is near Nielsen Park, for those of you who know me from there. And so
that looks great.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about that, and that I've already got lots else going on. Some days I'm strong, some days I plan a lot and then I just need to like stare at the wall for a while or have a nap.
Cut yourself some slack, in other words.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. So this weekend I got I think 3 or 4 really good nights sleep and I feel like a new man. But last night I only got a short sleep, so gotta watch it.
Yeah, that's right. But you're not going to violate that 6 inches, are you?
So interesting little conversations. This is I found this lovely eye, and then this is called a call out when you have a bigger thing to sort of,
or a pull quote.
Pull quote, yeah. And I cut the dot of the eye off in my crop, and then I thought, oh, this pull quote begins with I, so I'll put a dot above it, the dot from here down there in this piece. And then I just saw this clip from the sunglasses piece, and I moved it over there and thought, oh, look, that's kind of fun, the relationship between that and the eye that also has sort of an S-like feeling.
But it needs to violate the...
And Kim's saying, but you don't want it to go beyond there, but it should go beyond there.
Yeah.
Decisions. Oh, there's just no getting me in the picture here. There we go.
I do love your crazy little mind.
You know, we all have our little tricks and things we fall back on, and I'm the same. I love little folds to get things the way I want them, like to compress an image in an interesting way, or to flip something around so that you can see like the backside, like I did with this one.
That's a deceptively simple trick, though, because that's actually quite sophisticated.
Yeah, I mean,
to reveal and obscure and edit. And
well, bless you for saying so.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also relates to that I'm a control freak, so I need to throw myself things that introduce unexpected things, and sort of looking for that intentionally, like, oh, I wonder what's on the flip side, or what if I do this? And
So I notice now that you're doing several concurrent collages, you obviously feel freer and more playful.
yes, and that's
when you were too
exactly
focused.
why I'm doing it. And
Yeah.
I noticed that about at least the last one, and maybe more, that I was just getting too caught up in the one.
Yeah.
And I don't like the way that feels, so I just thought I'm gonna do something that I know works for me, which is working on more than one at once.
Joy says, I think in response to your talking about your getting some sleep and all of that, it sounds like weeding in the garden. You can do it every day, but then you need a day off.
Yes. Anything you do too much of, you need a rest from, right?
Yeah. And I took a full day off yesterday, which is the first time in feels like months since
she watched a bunch of movies. She stayed in bed. She would spend a lot of time in a darkened room, like either reading or napping. And do you feel like a new woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you what I've got so far, and it's really simple, but you know, sometimes that's all it needs. This one might be done. I don't know. I can get it out of the, there we go. So I started with that page of text, and then I moved the dot of the I down, and then I found this piece that had that related in an interesting way. And I also liked this dark beside this pull quote, and it was sticking up and down. And I thought, what if I fold it back on itself? And that sort of diagonal fold gives a bit of connection between this and this, which I kind of like. So it does this interesting thing. Now, I'm not sure whether there's enough in the rest of the composition or not, but so far I like what I see. I'm going to probably put this aside, get the next one started, and come back to that.
Exactly.
Of course, now I've just seen something that might be interesting. So what I'll do is I'll look at it. I'll maybe
you can set it aside.
Set it aside. Yeah, that's actually the right thing to do. Just thinking, okay, this is image and it's black and white, and maybe that comes into that a little bit. So I'm just going to put it over there with it to come back to, because my thinking and I'm not sure what the right word is. I go stale on a something after a certain amount of time. So too much looking at it, thinking, wondering. Someone told me that a bunch of you guys know Steve Rose, who teaches at Nielsen Park, and he teaches non-objective painting. And someone said that he told her, collage is the only thing that's ever made me cry, or the only art that's ever made me cry. He's a sensitive guy. Lots of things I'm sure have made him cry, but in terms of making art, collage is the only thing that's made him cry. And I find that interesting.
Yeah. Ooh. You picked a good issue.
It's got some lovely stuff. Yeah. As a designer, I love this page, because it's got so much white space, and then she's sort of crammed up into this corner with her hand over and just like jammed up into that corner, and it's quite beautiful.
Very well.
Yeah, and then this little paragraph of the details lines up with her hand, which is kind of nice, and then so hand in this paragraph relate, and elbow in this paragraph
while preserving that wonderful
white space. Keeping a ton of white space on it. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty tasty.
Yeah. Ricky says she likes it a lot.
Yeah, me too, Ricky.
The collage.
The collage, yeah.
Sherry says you can overthink a piece.
Yes.
Sometimes you just need to set it aside or stick it in a floating frame, eh, Sherry?
Yeah, that's like it's
on ice for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say isolation ward or step down ward or something, right? It's like off there. No one can go in there until it decides whether it's okay as it is or not.
It shoots out for something. So you see, this is interesting. Are you gonna put that right side up on your thing?
I still have a designer in me, so I am looking at this and I'm thinking I'm doing basically really riding on their coattails a lot for what their decisions were, because they were good decisions.
Yeah, so I look at that and I think, yeah, I'd love to use that too.
But you would do this.
But I would turn it upside down, or I would do a diagonal crop or something.
Right. Yeah.
To make it mine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So just as a
it's
like a I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you call those? A prompt.
A prompt
to push a little further.
One of the things that our students both love and I think occasionally hate about us is that we push them a little bit, right? So, and we do it for each other too. So, Kim more for me than I do for her.
Well, because I'm usually flinging myself off the nearest cliff.
Yeah, I need a little more push, and she is already in midair by the time I get to the cliff. That she's already exploring the potential for flight. Exactly, the void. Yes, exactly.
Joy says it adds a new dimension, and then Sherry says, or do a series.
They're always series.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love a good series. Even a bad series. It's all learning. I'm just going to go get a cold drink.
Yep, that's a good idea, Anna.
Are you okay for drinks?
I think I am. I should hydrate more.
Yeah.
The coffee tastes better, but the water is better for me.
Want me to stick it? Oh, you want me to turn the coffee machine off?
Yes, please. Did I leave the portafilter in?
Yeah.
Could you take that out as well?
I will.
Thank you.
I'll just rest it here.
So on the basis that I'm being too predictable, which I agree, and using too much sort of highly recognizable imagery, because let's face it, magazines are full of that, and they're full of well-crafted, well-designed photography and design. I'm going to use this piece, which is mostly, I'm taking the faces out. It's a black and white photograph with lots of interesting texture, some hair and some textiles. And I'm just going to use that as my base for this next piece. Just to make sure I don't get too predictable. And it's going to need something from me rather than a find, as it were.
Nobody chatted while I went for my drinks.
No, they knew you were going to need a little break, so it's the reason is they're right into the collaging
exactly.
now, right? So yeah,
exactly. That's good.
As it should be.
Did you know you're up to 70 subscribers?
I didn't. Thank you, everybody.
Mm-hmm. We're both shooting for our first 100. Should do something to celebrate.
A couple of months ago, you would have, if you had told me I was going to be having a weekly event on YouTube, I would have said you were
nuts.
Nuts, yes. Smoking crack, I would have said. Well, probably not. It's not the kind of thing I usually say. So.
No, it's not. But it's kind of fun to pretend that you would have.
Yeah.
Joy says, wow, I like your idea of folding the page. I'm thinking of the folds in their clothing. That's a nice association, Joy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Nice textures there, right?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, you think you know what you're doing, and then you realize, oh, missed a spot there with the glue stick. Oh, well.
Sherry says, I'm 71, subscriber, not age. Well, thank you, Sherry.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome aboard.
That's lovely. The whole numbers thing can look pretty silly, but what happens is the higher your numbers are, the more people will find out. The YouTube will present the Cal's videos as an option to people who are interested in related kinds of videos, or my videos if you're subscribing to my channel. So yeah, so it's awesome to have more subscribers for that reason, because it's lovely to be able to reach more people in more places. Because I think it's awful that there are people who don't know about Cal's virtual collage jam.
And I think it's awful that there are people who don't know about Kim's virtual studio party.
You got it right. We've had 11 of them,
Yeah.
and you actually were able to say it correctly.
Finally getting there. Yeah.
That's great.
I'll watch next week. I'll have a relapse. Virtual jam party. What is it, Kim?
That's right.
Studio marmalade.
Joy says she's going to be making soup again today to warm up.
Ah, yes. Unless you're making gazpacho, no one in Ontario is interested right now. Well, maybe further north. Why did I stop that early?
Gunta says, I love doing this. What a great prompt.
Great.
It's actually, I mean, you just changed the source and you've changed what you do.
Exactly,
so
exactly.
It's kind of a prompt that would bear repeating.
A gift that can keep on giving.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And something that I think happens is we get on the hunt for interesting materials, and we think that we don't have enough, and so we go looking, and we get sort of caught up and maybe distracted with trying to get too good materials, just the right thing, whereas there's just such simplicity in, like, pick something up, take a quick look through it. Is that interesting? Has it got some stuff? Okay, let's see what we can make out of that. It's kind of like freezer soup, you know? It's like, okay, if it's in the freezer, I can make soup with it. So.
Sherry has news. She said, did you see the second Oakville message in a bottle video? Cal's piece was highlighted as well as others from our group.
Someone sent me a link to that, and it was one of you, so I apologize that I am not remembering who at the moment. So I think it might have been.
You never showed it to me.
No, I think I saw it like last night. So
okay.
Yeah, so they did a video about it, and that's great. Yeah, so I will post that in our group.
Yeah, you should post it on your art page and then share it in the group.
Yeah, because they actually have another call. The same Tanya at Oakville has another call. I'm not sure. I can't remember the date exactly, but it is to make artwork support in.
To put into long-term.
No, it's to say thank you to the healthcare providers, but I don't know the exact details. I saw it and thought, oh, maybe I should make that the next prompt. And then I thought, well, we've already done one like that, but I'll see when the deadline is, and who knows, it might be next week if there's enough time. So, Yeah. So.
I want this thing. This looks good. Red jacket.
Yes. I saw that and thought, oh, it might be the next piece.
Mm.
And are you saying that you want it as a...
Yeah, as a garment.
Right, yes. Not as a visual element for collage.
I love a red jacket.
Yeah. Just have to finish cutting it out if you want it to come out.
Yeah, it's like the lasso tool. It's a nice thing about having a square thing. You can orient it anywhere.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
Well, that looks a lot better.
Yeah. So Kim was saying one advantage of the square is, and I hadn't thought of it, but it's true, is that I've cut this piece out to the same height. So I could put it here on this side. If I wanted to, I could put it on this side. But it also works horizontally because it's square. So options.
Sherry has the detail on that call.
Bless you, Sherry.
The theme is to honor local healthcare workers, community heroes, and the due date is May 28th, which is 3 days from now.
Right. So it's a tight timeline. So.
Yeah.
So maybe not this go around, but if any of you feel captivated to do that, absolutely, feel free.
Tanya's doing some great stuff.
Yeah, no, she is doing some great stuff. And that is also, like, I just wish the timeline were a bit longer.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it was announced a while ago and I only heard about it recently.
That's typical.
That's kind of surreal, isn't it?
Yeah. Accidental positionings.
Hey. Whoops. Where did we go? Of course.
Hold on to it there.
Hey, these your shoes?
Beautiful folds, eh?
Mm-hmm. So Gunta, you were saying that you were loving working with the one source. Did you already say what your one source was? Am I just blanking on it? Forgive me if you did. Kim is now madly checking the. It's kind of fun right there.
Let's see. She
Yeah.
talked about her 3 collage books. And,
right. Okay.
and Sherry also says No, actually, it was announced last Thursday, so it's just a short.
Okay, right. Okay.
Figuring that a lot of people are actually, have time
Yes.
on their hands.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Gunta says just a small pic from a calendar.
Ah, okay. So just not just one book, just one picture. So you're upping the ante even more.
So you're making a miniature collage then.
And that's actually reminds me of some of the collages you were doing in our course, right? You were working with pictures from the same, or pieces from the same image. So continuing in that vein.
Maybe that calendar has another image you can bring one piece in from.
Always the enabler, Kim.
Just to mix it up a little bit.
Why would you want to do that, Kim?
Because that's where the magic happens.
I think the magic happens where there's restraint. But I do love you. Don't get me wrong.
Well, there are restraints and there are straitjackets.
Yes, and I have started thinking it was one and ended up thinking it was another. So
yeah.
a creaky chair. Oops.
Whoa.
Right, didn't need to go that far. That's why. What's going on?
You went too far? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't need to go as far as I did.
Oh.
It's not a problem. I just need to decide what's that shape. Just make it that.
Joy says, that's neat, Cal.
Which is that, Joy? What I'm cutting out right now?
I think it must be, because that's what we're working on.
Well, I just seem to have found like several, well, 2 or 3 pages in a row in the magazine that had interesting colors and textures, like from the fabric. So I just thought, well, that's what the magazine's giving me. Let's see what I can do with it. So.
Yeah, nice.
So, something that's interesting is this one so far is it changes color a lot from red to grays to blue, but the values are actually kind of closer than you'd expect.
But that's fine.
But that's kind of interesting. So yeah.
It's about color and intensity.
Exactly. So I think might just go with that. I'm gonna just try a few different positions just to try things.
Adele says, I did 2, one representational, one non-objective, using a bag of ephemera. That's fun.
Yeah, that's
a bag
great.
of ephemera. That's a great phrase right there.
Yeah, it is actually. It's like,
makes my brain go ping, ping, ping.
Give me some of that bag of ephemera.
Yeah. Sounds full of possibilities.
My mom used to say something. Oh, bits. She used to, like, if you had a bag of something you were eating or a bowl of something you were eating and she wanted some, she'd say bits, bits, and reach out her hand.
That's funny.
And I could remember that something, but I couldn't remember what it was. It took me a minute for it to come back to me.
I don't remember her ever doing that when I was around. There were probably more things like that around when you were growing up. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me. There's a question. Lots of art terms in Adele's comment. Can it be deconstructed for the recovering academic? So representational.
So representational is just artwork that looks like something. So a photograph is representational if it looks like what it's a photograph of, a painting, drawing,
from a
whatever.
Photograph.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that's sort of like I recognize what that is of.
Yeah. Non-objective would be the next.
Non-objective is the opposite. So lots of people call non-objective work abstract, but in fact, abstract means there's an image, but it's been made simpler or distorted or changed, manipulated. That's a great word. Non-objective is when there is no image to begin with. It's color, texture, shape, but not image. So, yeah. Any other terms?
Ephemera.
Ephemera. So ephemera is stuff that doesn't last. So, or wasn't intended to last. It might be a better way of putting it. So lots of collage artists find like used TTC transit tickets or tickets or what else? Like flyers or stuff that wasn't ever meant to last long. It was just meant to like serve a quick purpose and that's it. And so it's ephemeral. It's here today, gone tomorrow. But some of the things that are ephemeral are most beautiful. Like a flower is very ephemeral, right? It's gorgeous today and tomorrow and maybe the next day, and then it is on its way out. And that's actually that.
Oh, Ricky knows what ephemera is. Sorry. Yeah.
All right.
That's all right.
That's all right. There we go.
Thanks, Ricky. We just didn't. That was the third word that you might have been confused about. So we were just making sure. And there's a whole kind of art called ephemeral art.
Yes, and it's actually something I'm fond of because I don't like to worry about, I'm trying to make something to last. And I used to, when I was younger, I would spend inordinate amounts of time making present wrappings. Like I would make an illustration for it. I'd do all this stuff and people would carefully take it out and save it.
And don't underestimate what he means when he says that he'd spend it. Like he would have a look for any given Christmas. And then he'd do these really elaborate things to wrap in. Yeah. Illustrations and collage and whatever. Oh, he was famous in his family for his gift wrapping. The Japanese would love him because they're all about that too.
And I think part of what gave me the freedom to do it was knowing that it was not going to last. Yeah. Now, of course, it did because people saved it, which was lovely. But there was something about like this is only designed to be looked at and then ripped open.
People could not bear to rip them open.
No, which is.
Because they were exquisite.
Yeah. No, but what was funny was oftentimes the gifts were not chosen that well, but the wrapping was beautiful. We all have our gifts, and some of us choosing. So when I met Kim, she is an excellent gift chooser. She knows what someone is about, recognizes someone would really appreciate this. So before we gave up more or less gift giving, which we pretty much have nowadays. But we used to be a good tag team that way.
Except my mom.
Yeah, so she'd find things and I would wrap them, and it worked out well. So we had a sweet spot there for a few years.
Yeah. Gunta says, you are the first to clarify for me, I think, the difference between non-objective and abstract. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Sherry says she's trying to cut out the numbers 501 in a thumb-sized piece of paper.
That sounds very Sherry. And I feel your pain because I would be trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's like that.
You're my people.
That's right.
Except I used to have more patience than I do now. I think you outdo me on patience now.
Well, that's a beauty.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much more it needs.
Doesn't necessarily need anything.
No, exactly.
So
it's going to get put aside as soon as I fix the part that curled up before it had a chance to get glued.
Sherry says, my parents rushed my toilet training. They were in a hurry. I love that. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's too funny.
Well, wow, the time is flying, and I've been having just too much fun.
Got 5 more minutes.
Yep. And I don't know if I've said this, I've said it millions of times, but sometimes the collage gods give you these things. I just looked down at a pile of scraps and I thought, oh, that's pretty yummy. So I'm going to take a picture of it, because that may be all it needs, is just to enjoy it for the moment that it is, but it has to be captured as best I can. I'll try and show it to you because it's all loose there, so you won't see it otherwise. Sorry about the reflections, but isn't that great? And it was just sitting there.
Yeah. What are the best parts about it?
Being fashion, of course, there are all these sort of heavily attitude-laden looks. And so she's got like strong eyeliner on, and she's got her mouth a little sneery, but then she's on an angle and clipped through this little window. And so there's something that's interesting about that. And then there's also a shard of something I cut out sort of pointing up at it. That's kind of interesting. I don't know how much of it's going to fall apart it's going to fall apart.
Do you need the black and white one?
No, I don't. Well, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, I might play with that.
Jane says, nice work today, Cal. They all look good. He's not bad at this stuff, eh, Jane?
You know, thank you. That's nice of you to say. And I enjoy this sort of responsive way of working. I do wonder, it does have a certain shallowness to it that I question a little bit. I'm not looking at any serious issues or serious point of view or any of that stuff. And so that's something that I will think about.
That's partly to do with your source material, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like fashion is ephemeral, right? And it is also, it's all about, it's all superficial.
It's all about surface and appearance.
And yeah, and design. I mean, it does have some things that are essential to what I'm about as well. I like design and color and shape and all of those things. And in some ways, it's a guilty pleasure too. But
fashion is important.
Yeah.
Like any form of design is important.
Yeah, and I do agree with that. I think it sometimes gets too much weight, but it is like life can't be heavy all the time either, right? So
it's also about personal expression.
Yeah.
Fashion.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and if this were a different piece, if I were working from a different book, if it were a book on some heavy issue, then it would have a bunch of images related to that, right? I'm not sure whether I would feel as comfortable playing with that. You know, playing with fashion seems, now, see what the fashion designers think of the fact that I'm cutting up their work and the photographers' work and the fashion designers'
That's all right.
work.
They're cutting up everybody else's work in order to come up with their designs.
But you know, if it were a really heavy issue, it would be interesting to see how I'd respond to that. So I might do that sometime in the future and see how that feels. But you know, if it were images of like the Rwandan genocide, and that's just something that comes to mind, any number of like.
Well,
you know,
that would require something more deeply.
Yeah, exactly, and it wouldn't be right. So you know,
it could be collage, but it couldn't be.
Yeah, and I think
play.
It couldn't be play exactly. It would have to be, and there are artists who seek that out, right? They want to draw attention to particular issues. They want to make points, and that's great. I'm just not about that, at least not today. So
your signs are.
My signs are more about that kind of, not even that heavy, but they are more inclined that way.
I'll let you know that it's 3:32.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why I'm getting out of my square here. Something's wrong. Ooh, that's kind of fun, isn't it?
That is really fun.
Wow.
See, you're disrupting the image.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Quick, get the tape.
Again, that looks done.
Yeah.
Joy says adding all those layers makes the texture different, I bet. Thanks for all of these new ideas, Cal. Wow.
You're too sweet, Joy. Thank you. That's my pencil. Somewhere.
We've got all these pencils.
Oh, maybe I put them away. Why did I do that?
None of those the softness you want, or more likely the hardness. There you go.
So I think we've achieved a new level of comfort when I'm just like happily whistling along in the middle of the collage jam. So thank you.
Yeah, it means it's a nice crowd.
Yeah. I put in between my morning class and my afternoon class, which I don't normally do. I put on some music just to get my energy up for the afternoon, and I think I'll be doing that again.
It's a good choice.
Yeah. But that's where that song was coming from. So.
Well, don't whistle more than that sample. You get some notice from YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
Here.
Yeah, I doubt it because it's not sampled, right? It's my version of it.
Philippa has written. She said,
Oh,
I've
hi,
been
Philippa.
sorting through all my collage papers from calendars and mags, etc., to prepare for next time. I love the informality of your chat. Smile.
Thank you. And that's a good thing to do. I know you were just chilling, but just going through your stuff, that never goes. I started that sentence wrong. That's always useful. Like getting
Any kind of preparatory.
Yeah,
thing,
exactly. It gets your mind ticking over without being challenging, right? It's like
calming.
It's calming. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a little order, and you might get a little excitement too. Like, oh, I found all this cool stuff. I can hardly wait to use it. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, preparation is an important stage because it literally prepares your mind, but in a peaceful place.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it fertile ground. Joy says Dr. Henry, our BC health guru, reminds us to, quote, be kind, be patient, stay calm, and be safe. That's an awesome motto.
Yeah, that is the COVID mantra right there, isn't it?
Should be.
Yeah, exactly. There are places we know that it isn't, but.
So you're just going to get this glued down?
That's
and then we'll wrap up?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
If I just glue all that, then that part will be loose. Okay, yeah, so sometimes I need to think for a moment. As little as possible. So glue this part down, and then I'll fix the part that will still be loose. And then we'll do a little flip through of the work in progress, because some are done, some might be done, and some might need more work. But
Mira writes, my piece is almost done.
Of course it is, Mira. You are the queen.
I used a fashion magazine. Thanks for today, guys. See you on Thursday.
All right. See you, Mira.
See you, Mira.
Thanks for coming by. Now, the only trick here is this is thin paper, so it wants to move around.
It does.
And not it wants to be unruly.
Yeah. Be patient with it.
Yeah.
Even if you have to reapply some glue.
Oh man, I got a big glob of glue that I didn't notice.
It's nice and fresh.
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the job at hand.
That's right.
So on this.
Elaine writes, thanks, Cal and Kim. I am off to work on house construction projects. Wow. You got a lot to do probably. I am letting my piece dry, and then I'm going to take the palm sander to it. Wish me luck.
That sounds like fun.
See you on Thursday.
All right.
A little
See
day
you Thursday.
collage.
Yeah.
Judy writes, always a fun and inspiring session. Thank you both again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judy.
Yeah. Getting the other layer done, yeah. Now you have to show it to them properly now and put it down.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just do
Oh yeah, okay.
a quick look through, and some are done for sure. Some are only started, but let's see what we got. So I never really came back to this one. I just like the crop of that sort of head with that little strip across the top, but I think that probably needs more. But you saw this one. I think this one needs more, but I'm not sure what yet. So we'll see. This one's done.
Sure is.
This one unsure, but could be done, could have something more. And then this is the last one, which is just a couple of the pieces from left over from making this one, right? So
Well, look at that fabulous negative shape there.
yeah,
The white.
the white
great.
negative is pretty great. So
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah. So another good collage jam, Cal.
Yay.
Under your belt.
So enjoy the rest of the week, guys. And as usual, post things in our Facebook group. See, you guys did some amazing stuff this past week. So looking forward to seeing what else you cook up. And I will send out the prompt earlier. Sorry about that. Earlier this week. So I'll try and get it out tomorrow or Wednesday so that you know what we're cooking. Okay.
I'll just share a couple of comments.
Yeah.
Sherry said, got a great start on the streetcar.
Excellent.
It will keep me engaged until the next prompt.
Yes, exactly.
Are you picking up mail at your mailing address? Well, we are going back to get like
Yeah. So yes,
stuff,
it's
so
yeah.
We
so,
will be.
Yes, so we will. Yes.
Yeah.
We don't use it much, but we, if we know we should check, we will.
We'll definitely
thank you.
make a check.
That sounds like fun.
Jane says, I think the last two are done. Looking good.
Yeah, thanks, Jane. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on Facebook. Have a good week, guys, and we'll see you around. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks. See ya. I'll let Kim leave the comments on for another minute or two. All right. Yeah.
You muted?